Just another toothpick and a bit of Burt Young on the side. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. It is The Sopranos Season 3, Episode 5. Quite a lot happened this episode, but it was mainly contained to this episode, if that makes any sense, because we're just introducing people here that literally all die in this episode, and it's like, well, what was the point? Because we've got the introduction of Mustang Sally, we've got the introduction of Bacala Sr., who is Bobby Bacala's dad, played by Burt Young, and I think Burt Young stole the show. Would you agree?
He's Burt Young, for God's sake. I think, of course, he's going to steal the show.
I mean, his coffin may have stole the show in two ways in one. But, I mean, what did you make him? I thought he was alright. Probably my favourite episode of the season. Easily my favourite episode of the season to this point.
Well, to be fair, I mean, the guy came in and you're thinking, I didn't even think he was going to, even if he never went on a suicide mission, to know if he was going to make it to the end of the episode, like, with his cough. It wasn't very good.
He's the fucking Terminator. He's the Terminator. But Carmela is at the shrink sessions, man. And, I actually do think there was an element here that Melfi was kind of like deflecting blame to Carmela, and Carmela just fucking ate it up and spat the dummy.
I ain't having it. I don't want it.
I don't want it, buddy, but you could clearly see here that with Carmela there, Tony is not going to say anything. He's just sitting there like, you know, the autistic kid that he is.
Yeah, but I mean, if Carmela's watching this and she's probably thinking, hold on, you know, I've got every right for us to be annoyed. Paying this money and Tony's not even doing anything.
Yeah. Which is bizarre, and when they're arguing the way home, he then is like, fuck it, I don't want to listen to your shit, I want to get home quicker. So he starts speeding, and then he gets pulled over by a traffic cop by the name of Leon. And you know what, I just want to wrap up Leon right here, right now, within the next 60 seconds. So Leon gives him a speeding ticket. I don't know, Tony tries to like bribe him here, and like he does it like half bribery, where like, yeah, he kind of jokes about it, I'll pay for you and your wife at Artie's restaurant, blah, blah, blah. But then the guy gives him a ticket. Then he contacts an assemblyman by the name of Ronald to get him out of the ticket. But in getting him out of the ticket, actually gets this Leon guy like docked pay and cut of his overtime. And then when Tony's looking for like pipes later on in the episode, he spots Leon working his second job. And then he feels bad. So then he phones Ronald. And then he tells him, like, here, I think you need to give Leon back his overtime. But then Ronald's like, no, he's on this union program where they're trying to shaft all the white people and, you know, black power. And then Tony thinks about it. And then he hears about Meadow telling a story about some black kid stole her bike at college. And then he reverts to back against this guy when he's having a dinner with Ronald. He's like, fuck him. And then the next scene is the end of the episode where he shows up and he, like, badmouths him. He tries to give him like $500 and he doesn't take it. What the fuck? What actually was this?
It was just a mess.
No, it was a mess, because how can he... I think it makes sense, right, up to the point where he lands him back in it because, you know, Meadow just told that story about her bike getting stolen. He's like, here, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but fuck him, so he's just using a stereotype. But then, at the end of the episode, he tries to pay him, and then the guy doesn't do it, and then Tony just walks off. Honestly, if this isn't the epitome of filler, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it's like Tony's conscience is wrestling with him, and then he's like, nah, fuck it, this guy's black, I don't like him. Then he's like, oh, but I done a bad thing getting him sacked. And it's like, 1 minute he's trying to justify what he done, and Meadow's bike getting stolen. He's like, well, the guy that stole her bike was black, and he's black, so they're all the same. And I don't know if they just included this to try and show us even further that Tony's messed up in the head, but I don't know, it's just a bit of a joke. I think if any other TV series does this, you're like, really?
But this is like the main thing Tony does this episode. He's a wee bit involved in the hit, but he's not really involved in the hit.
Sopranos is like comedy, but it's more kind of like pathetic comedy. I think it's more embarrassing. Like, I can't believe they're acting like that comedy.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily funny, it's more like, wow, that really made the cut kind of deal.
Like, you're top man. I just don't understand this whole dilemma. I really don't. In between this... Meadow takes the lamp from the basement. So see that? Remember that entire episode where they set up a lamp in the Tony's basement? That's irrelevant now. Meadow's hoovered the lamp clean after him.
The lamp's gone.
The lamp has left the building. We then see two guys pull up into a grocery store. One of them sits outside. There's this Mustang sitting there. Woman gets out. She's arguing with her boyfriend. This turns out to be Mustang Sally, who then thinks the fat guy is flirting with his girlfriend, and then he grabs a golf club, and a pretty graphic scene this was, cracks him in the skull, he falls to the deck. I mean, the gash on his head is bigger than Tony's fucking stomach, and then he just starts levering into him.
That's a pretty big stomach.
No, it is a pretty big stomach, but this was mental, wasn't it?
It was uncalled for.
Yeah. Like, this guy, the guy's hit, right? He's connected to, like, Tony's crew's, like, members. He's, like, a family of or whatever. He's, like, the big fat guy, Fito. It's his brother, right? And he's related to, like, Jackie Aprile Jr. So this guy's connected to Tony's crew, and he's connected to, like, Tony's family, because you know how tight Tony and Jackie Aprile were? And this Mustang Sally guy thinks he's going to get off with just a wee word.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, buddy. We then have a funeral for some, like, old guy. I actually have no idea. How many times does Sopranos does funerals for old people?
Way too many. It's not even relevant.
I don't even know. I can't even remember who the fuck this guy was. Oh, Carmela's uncle. That's who it was, right? Tony's sitting there, and Bobby Bacallier Sr. arrives. Burt Young's in the building. He's coughing away. He's got lung cancer, sadly. Tony can't believe it. When they get outside, Janice is like, yeah, just another toothpick. Junior does not take kind to this. He's like, what the fuck, Janice? Show a bit of respect. And then Tony's talking to Big Bobby Sr. He's like, he says he's your nephew, but he's actually the godfather of Mustang Sally. So, yeah, he talks about how this guy needs to go away. And then when we've seen the scene in the hospital, we've got Ralph, we've got Gigi, we've got Jackie Aprile Jr., we've got Tony and Polly. They're all wanting revenge against Mustang Sally. When Jackie Aprile Jr. says it would be my honour, Tony tells him to sit down. And then Polly's like, here, kid, you need to get your hearing tested. I mean, no, I don't get. This Jackie Aprile Jr. kid, I get it. Tony doesn't want him to be in this life. But I know he pissed himself in like 2 episodes ago. But do you not think he's actually got a set of balls to stand up to Tony? This entire fucking crew wouldn't say anything to Tony.
Yeah, no,
like Paul, I would actually have respect for Paulie and Sylvia if they stood up to Tony. But even 3 seasons in, where's it been?
Don't do shit.
Like, he actually stood up to him. Here's no, I want to do it. Then Paulie stands up to him. Just a bunch of jobbers, man. Ralph then makes a joke about the fact that, you know, this guy's fat, so he'll probably do him a favour if he's a vegetable for life, which Tony and Gigi are not too happy about. But Gigi apparently was the guy that came up with the scenario of Bobby Sr. taking out Mustang Sally. What do you think of this? Getting a guy that's 70 with lung cancer, probably got about 3 weeks left to perform a hit.
Fucking retarded.
It was retarded, wasn't it?
Especially if you want the job done right, you send this guy. Why not send this guy with a bunch of other dudes? And if he wants to get the final kill, final shot, then so be it. But to send him on his own into something where you've no idea, this guy could have backup, this guy could have a fucking whole crew, and they send this old, decrepit, on his deathbed fucking guy who can barely stand up straight for 5 seconds without coughing, and they send him to get the job done. It's almost like they set this up to fail.
Yeah, and Tony gets warned by like Johnny Sack and other people, but he's just no fucking listening to it. I just don't get it. Like, how weak does this make your crew get? Like Bobby points out the fact that his dad has been retired for like 10 years.
I know.
Oh no, but let's use this guy. Honestly, ridiculous. He then pays like Junior a visit and says how getting up the stairs to Junior's house killed him. And this is the guy that's going to wipe out 2 guys.
This is the man.
This is the man. Then we get a scene. Adriana hands in a notice to Artie. Artie's raging about this.
Turns out she's leaving the family business to do OnlyFans.
Yep, that's what she's doing. OnlyFans 2023.
By the way, quick thoughts on that. You made the video. I never really got to say anything. This is probably not the right time to address it.
Ah, fuck it, go for it.
But I think this is very poor. I mean, especially coming from someone that A, has a family, B, has a mother, and like C, I mean, she's in her 50s now, for God's sake. Like, have a little bit of self-respect. I personally don't like anyone that does OnlyFans. And I think there's a way as a woman to be hot and attractive and earn money without fucking taking nudes on the internet. For me, you can use your sex appeal to get other jobs. You can use that as an advantage, but you don't need to stoop to this level. I think it's dirty money. That's my opinion.
It is dirty. It's a cop out.
Like, I know it might sound rich coming from me, considering I'm on about the best like women's era of wrestling was when they were there. But there is a difference between acting and using your looks to your advantage and stuff like that, and then there's a difference between taking your clothes off for people to pay you money, and if you can't see that, then I'm sorry. People, I mean, I hate when people like make out as if the WWE. I know this is going off topic, like, but the WWE women back in the day were like, I don't know, degrading or whatever, or you know, they no self-respect. Well, I couldn't tell you any female wrestler for the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era, minus Sunny, like, that had an OnlyFans account. But you look at today's period where wrestling and women's rights matters, and everyone's got one. So it's just subjective fucking outrage at the end of the day. I think it's poor. I mean, 51. That's what it is.
Yep, she's got a family. I mean, come on.
And another thing, it's like, see, everyone's reporting about this. See, when I seen it, like, I checked it out, and it's like every article is like the Daily Mail, the Mirror. It's
Sopranos legend.
This is like breaking news. And then they're on about, what she got is her header, and it's like she's uploading like the header or whatever is the picture she's got from like fucking 25 years ago. So is that what she's going to do? She's just going to upload like, she got a bunch of old photos fucking stored, and she's going to upload them, like, I don't know.
Well, she's going to make a lot of money, but that doesn't make it fucking right.
No, she will earn a lot of money, and if you've got any sort of relevancy, if you've got any sort of fame and fan base, then there's no doubt you can open one of these and you can make a shitload of money. I'm not denying that. I'm not sitting here saying I'm not saying, she's in her 50s, she ain't going to make money. She's going to make a lot of money, but I mean, is it really worth it? She's a pretty talented actress. I'm sure she could make money getting roles and stuff like that, but who knows? Who
knows, guys? But would Artie have approved of her making her OnlyFans? Because Artie confesses...
No, Artie loves her.
I love her, Tony. I love her. I probably actually, you know what, I put over Burt Young, but Artie, this episode, I like them.
You know what? No, I'm not even buying that. I've seen nothing in the first 2.5 seasons to suggest that Artie loves her. I barely even knew that she worked for Artie. What, there's not been that many scenes?
Yeah. Yeah, like literally.
No, but how are we supposed to know? Where's the fucking connection? Oh, this just... You could not tell me before this episode that you thought Artie loved Adriana.
Yeah, it was
no one could have said that.
It was just a worker-employee relationship.
If that.
Yeah.
How many scenes did we see her working?
Probably about 6, 7, 8.
If that.
Yeah, but the background, you're not supposed to fucking notice. That's the point. She's just working.
How many scenes did she have with Artie?
Yeah, probably like 1 or 2 if that.
And where was it? No, it's not like a good show. They would show you a build up, and you'd see signs that maybe they're getting a little bit too close.
Yeah.
That you would see that in a good show, but you didn't see that in this.
But I think the gimmick is that she would never obviously fall for Artie, so I think he's just... Point is...
No, this show, I don't give a fuck. This show's not good. It doesn't feel like episodic. It feels like there's no continuation. Continuity's like out the window. It just feels like... This kind of reminds me of Supernatural. It's almost like every episode's just a standalone episode. I'm beginning to go really off it. I do feel like there is no continuation from like one episode to the next. It's almost like each episode could be a standalone episode. It's like the story doesn't continue. It just doesn't. It doesn't pick up where it left off.
Yeah, like story arcs will just sit on the back burner.
And then it's like out of nowhere, 3 seasons in, we'll just invent this relationship that these two people have even though they don't have it. Yeah. These two are super close and they're close enough for Artie to fall for Adriana. But we haven't fucking seen that. We've seen nothing to suggest that.
No,
just
but
lame in my opinion.
It's the same with, like, you know, it's the greatest Burt Young was. Like, they've just plucked this guy out the fucking gutter. Same with Ralph. Same with Richie. Right? Same with Jackie April's son. It's just, they never got a fucking mention before they appeared.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, just, we need a character for a one-off episode. We'll use him. We'll use this person. We'll use that person.
And I know I don't get, right? It's not even like they got a mention in the season they were about to appear in. Like, they literally don't even get a mention like in the previous episode. I don't get this, right?
Yeah, why can't they build these characters up a little bit?
Yeah, like, they just don't.
Like, Burt Young, if he's going to be in this episode, why not shoot a couple of scenes and put it in maybe the last episode or the episode before that? Give us a little bit of build-up to the character. But no, in this, it's just so much one and done.
Like, Bobby's not even mentioned, like, my father, or something like that. But anyway, Artie, like, is messing about with Christopher. He's messing with his suit. He's roughing up his hair. And, like, Chris is a made man. And Artie's just some fucking cook. How is Christopher not battering this guy?
Yeah.
He takes like 2 minutes of just getting like played with, and then Tony has to break it up. He's I love a tea, and Tony's like, don't you ever fucking say that again. But Tony's like ripping the piss clean out of him.
Yeah.
And that's it for Artie, guys. That is it. Artie's marriage with his wife looks all but done, and yeah, it's all over for. But let's get to the stuff that really mattered this episode. Big Bobby Senior, he arrives at Mustang Sally's house. He coughs up the stairs. He gets let into the house. We've got some spick, in his words, and we've got Mustang Sally. And you know what? Considering this guy, Tony labelled this guy as the fucking Terminator. It was a pretty botched hit, but he got the job done in the end. He goes to shoot Mustang Sally, but then the spick, Carlos, like shouts, and this makes him like lose his judgment. He shoots Mustang Sally's ear off. He turns around, shoots Carlos in the chest, and then he gets into a struggle with Mustang Sally. And how's this guy losing? A scuffle with this guy?
I know, just
like he out muscles him and completely moves and shoots him, and he goes fucking blood all over him, inhalers. Absolute mess.
A guy that's in his 70s and obviously terminally ill versus a guy that, you know, alright, maybe he'd just been shot in the ear.
Yeah, bigger shot in the ear. Like, I think he's shot in the stomach.
He got clipped or something and he gets out muscled. Then we've got the other guy who got shot and he's like,
oh, don't shoot me, senor.
Then he gets pinpoint accuracy, he shoots him through the fucking chair and gets a headshot. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, then he drives home and...
But this stuff's almost comical. It doesn't come off as real.
Yeah, even when I'm driving home, he's like, the tunes are blasting, he lights up one last cigarette, he drops the fucking inhaler, then the song gets louder, and then he has a... I don't think he has a heart attack, I think he passes out because he's unable to breathe because of the inhaler. He then smashes into a sign and dies. That is the last we ever see of Bobby Senior. And then Junior is like frantically wanting to know like what caused his death, but Bobby Junior's like, oh, I don't know if it was the lung cancer or if it was the crash or was it, you know, not being able to use the inhaler. Right, and I thought Junior genuinely cared here. Turns out the only reason he wanted to know is because apparently cancer comes in free, and if this guy got killed by cancer, that would have meant Livia, that uncle, and then him. So Junior would have thought he was safe. But because Junior finds out this guy didn't die from the cancer, he thinks he's next. Because Junior then reveals...
He's ill.
Yes.
He's got the big
C. You've got the big C. He reveals this to Bobby, reveals this to Tony. He tells Tony not to tell anyone. Tony tells Janice, and that's pretty much the end of this episode, guys. You know what? I enjoyed Burt Young, but if you take Burt Young out this episode and a wee bit of a minor meltdown for Artie, it fucking sucked. I'm going to give it...
I'll get a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll get a 6 out of 10. This season just lacks a general direction.
I feel like The Sopranos relies on scenes rather than episodes. Like, I don't think there's consistency there.
Like, what would you say is like the main story this season? Hit me with it.
Main story. Season 1, I thought the main story was obviously Tony becoming top man. Season 2, I thought the story was Sal being a spy. Season 3,
and Richie.
Season 3,
I would say
Season 3, I'd say the main story up to this point is probably Tony looking out for April's son. Jackie April's son. That's probably
yeah, I would
the
say
most consistent thing going on the show.
Which is like, if you look at it, you'd be like, oh, that has to be like one of the minor things of the season. No, it's the fucking main thing.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much it. I mean, a lot of this stuff we've seen's fucking filler.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you look at other major stuff this season, I mean, the FBI planted a bug, but that's gone.
Like, I think Chris getting to be a made man, I think that's something that he could have been working towards for the beginning of this season, and maybe towards the end he gets it. But no, just one random episode like that, he gets it. He gets the phone call.
The phone call.
Like, everything seems rushed and random. I'm not saying it's not worth watching, right? It's fun at times and it's entertaining at times, But I don't know how anyone can seriously say this is the best show of all time. That baffles me.
It does baffle me, and to be honest, this is my second time rewatching it. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it again.
I'd say it's one of the worst shows that I've watched because, and what I mean by that is one of the worst shows that I've watched to the end. Because normally, if I watch a show and I don't think it's any good, I'll just stop watching it. But out of the shows that I watched from start to finish, I'd say The Sopranos is pretty low down that list.
It's pretty low down. But anyway, guys, that is it for another Toothpick. We'll be back very soon next Sunday for the next episode. Will things pick up? You'll have to stay tuned and find out. But until next time, 6 out of 10. Peace.